Welcome to the Bare Metal Cyber Security Plus podcast. This series helps you prepare for the CompTIA Security Plus exam with focused explanations and practical context. For a companion study guide, check out the Achieve CompTIA Security Plus 701 Exam Success by Dr. Jason Edwards. It is the most concise and complete Security Plus guide on the market, built for busy professionals who want to pass the exam fast and on their first try. You can find this book and others at cyberauthor.me. In previous episodes, we've explored the role of log data, detection tools, and forensic analysis in identifying and understanding security events. But before many of those incidents ever happen, there's another category of tools working in the background. Tools that help organizations find their weaknesses before an attacker does. I'm talking about vulnerability scanning. These tools, when paired with automated reporting, not only improve security posture, but also play a crucial role during investigations. In today's episode, we'll focus on how vulnerability scan data and automated reporting can be leveraged, both to prevent incidents and to support incident response. Let's start with vulnerability scans. A vulnerability scan is a systematic examination of systems, applications, and networks to identify known security weaknesses. These weaknesses might include unpatched software, outdated libraries, misconfigurations, default credentials, or services exposed to the internet. Vulnerability scanning is not the same as penetration testing. It doesn't exploit vulnerabilities, but it does identify where vulnerabilities exist based on a regularly updated database of known issues. Vulnerability scanners can be agent-based, network-based, or credentialed. Some scan from inside the network. Others are designed to scan from an external perspective, mimicking what an attacker would see from the internet. Either way, the goal is the same: discover where your systems are exposed and prioritize remediation before someone else takes advantage of it. Let's walk through a real-world example. A regional hospital system runs monthly vulnerability scans on its internal servers. One month, the scan identifies a critical vulnerability in an outdated web server module used by their internal billing system. The issue is flagged as high severity and tied to a known exploit that had been used in ransomware attacks across the healthcare sector. The IT team patches the module and reconfigures the system to prevent future misuse. 2 weeks later, the security team detects scanning activity from a botnet targeting that same vulnerability across hundreds of healthcare networks. Thanks to the scan, the hospital was protected before the wave hit. Now, let's flip that scenario. Suppose that same hospital never ran the scan. They might not have known that the vulnerability existed until attackers exploited it. In that case, when the incident investigation begins, vulnerability scan data becomes part of the response. Analysts look back to see whether any alerts were missed. If a scan had been run but never reviewed, that's a process failure. If no scan was ever performed, that's a visibility failure. In both cases, understanding the role of vulnerability exposure is essential to improving security moving forward. Vulnerability scan data also helps during the scoping of an incident. When a threat actor is detected on one system, responders can use scan history to identify what other systems share the same vulnerability. This supports rapid containment. If a particular service is exposed on multiple devices, the team can assess which devices are most likely to be affected and prioritize them for inspection. Let's consider another example. A university experiences a breach in its content management system. The initial investigation reveals that attackers exploited a plugin vulnerability. By reviewing recent scan reports, the IT team identifies several other web applications running the same vulnerable plugin. Those systems are immediately taken offline and patched, preventing the attacker from pivoting deeper into the environment. Without that scan data, the response team might have missed the wider exposure. Scan results are also critical for compliance. Many frameworks, from PCI DSS to HIPAA, require organizations to perform regular scans and document their remediation activities. The ability to produce a historical timeline of when vulnerabilities were identified, addressed, and revalidated not only satisfies auditors, it also demonstrates security maturity and continuous improvement. And now let's talk about automated reports. While vulnerability scanning is essential, it only becomes actionable when the data is interpreted, contextualized, and delivered to the right people. That's where automated reporting comes in, Automated reports summarize scan results, log activity, alert data, or performance metrics, and deliver them on a set schedule to system owners, security teams, or executives. These reports might include weekly summaries of high-risk vulnerabilities, monthly compliance checklists, or real-time alerts about systems that failed a scan or exceeded a risk threshold. When properly configured, automated reports reduce the workload of security teams by surfacing the most important information without requiring someone to dig through raw output every day. Let's walk through a practical scenario. A financial services firm configures its vulnerability scanner to generate a weekly report listing all systems with unresolved high or critical vulnerabilities. Each report includes system names, IP addresses, CVE identifiers, and the date the issue was first detected. The report is automatically sent to the infrastructure and application teams. Over time, these teams begin to use the report as part of their sprint planning, patch cycles improve, high-risk systems are prioritized, and overall vulnerability counts begin to drop. The security team sees these results not just in the scan dashboard, but in the real-world outcomes of fewer successful attacks and faster remediation timelines. Automated reports can also reveal patterns that would be hard to spot manually. For instance, you might notice that certain departments or business units consistently have higher vulnerability counts, or that a specific category of software, such as outdated Java runtimes, is common across many endpoints. These patterns help guide long-term strategy. Maybe it's time to retire that legacy application. Maybe training is needed for a certain team. Automated reporting brings these issues to light and helps connect technical findings with operational action. Now let's consider a response scenario. A company detects that an attacker has compromised a file server using a known vulnerability in an old operating system component. The incident response team reviews automated reports from the past 6 months and sees that this exact vulnerability had been flagged repeatedly in prior scans. It had not been addressed due to resource constraints. That information becomes part of the post-incident review. The failure wasn't just technical, it was procedural. And now, with historical reporting in hand, the organization can trace how the vulnerability persisted and what needs to change. Automated reporting also plays a role in executive communication. Security teams often struggle to explain technical risks to non-technical leadership. Regular reporting delivered in a digestible visual format helps bridge that gap. Trends, metrics, and remediation progress can be shared without overwhelming detail. This supports transparency, budget planning, and prioritization. It's important to remember that automated reports are only useful when they are configured thoughtfully. That means selecting the right data, setting meaningful thresholds, defining appropriate audiences, and scheduling delivery at intervals that align with business needs. A flood of irrelevant alerts or unread reports serves no one, but a well-tuned reporting pipeline becomes a powerful tool for risk reduction and accountability. To summarize, vulnerability scans and automated reporting are two sides of the same coin. Vulnerability scans help you find the cracks in your armor before an attacker does. They support proactive defense, speed up incident response, and fulfill compliance requirements. Automated reporting turns that raw data into insight. It delivers the right information to the right people at the right time, supporting strategic decisions and operational improvement. Together, they form a foundation for continuous security improvement and smarter cybersecurity leadership. For the Security Plus exam, expect questions about vulnerability management, scan types, and how automated reports support detection, response, and compliance. You may be asked to interpret scan output, identify reporting requirements, or troubleshoot issues in a remediation cycle. Review terms like CVE, risk score, patch validation, report scheduling, and dashboard alerting. They're all highly testable and directly connected to these concepts. Thanks for joining us for this episode of the Bare Metal Cybersecurity Plus podcast. For more episodes, tools, and study support, visit us at baremetalcyber.com. And before you take the test, make sure to check out the practice questions in the book Achieve CompTIA Security Plus SY0-701 Exam Success by Dr. Jason Edwards. They cover every domain and are a powerful way to lock in your knowledge.